What's their story?
Oh, finally. I grabbed us the last 2 seats by the window. Jesse, you have to try this place. The cold brew here is seriously something else.
Sorry I'm a little late. I got completely turned around near Broadway again. But wow, this cafe is beautiful. I love the exposed brick. Very Nashville.
Right. It has such a warm, laid-back vibe. Okay, I have to ask. Did you bring it? The secret souvenir.
Of course I did. It's in my bag. But you know the rules. We wait until the very end, just before we leave. Same as always.
I love that we've kept up this tradition. Every trip we take together, we each secretly pick one souvenir that we think captures the soul of the place. And we reveal it to each other right before we head to the airport. It's my favorite part of every trip.
Mine too, honestly. I'm pretty proud of what I found this time. But I'm not giving anything away yet. Let's order and talk about the trip first. We have so much to unpack.
I'll have a flat white. So, what was your absolute highlight of Nashville so far? Like if you had to pick just one moment.
Oh, without question, the Ryman Auditorium. I knew it was going to be impressive. But standing on that stage during the self-guided tour, I actually got goosebumps. I kept thinking about all the legendary performers who stood right there.
I felt the exact same way. The Ryman is just so sacred, you know? It used to be a church. Did you know that? A riverboat captain named Thomas Ryman built it in 1892. It started as a gospel tabernacle, and then it gradually became the home of country music.
I did read about that on the tour. It blows my mind how a place built for religious revivals ended up becoming one of the most iconic music venues in the world. The Grand Ole Opry broadcast from there for decades, right?
Exactly. From 1943 all the way to 1974. That's 31 years. Artists like Hank Williams, Patsy Cline, and Johnny Cash all performed there regularly. It's honestly hard to overstate how important that building is to American music history.
Hard to overstate. That's putting it mildly. What about you? What was your favorite moment?
Okay, so mine is a little unexpected. It wasn't a big tourist attraction. It was actually a tiny bar on Lower Broadway on our first night. Do you remember? We just wandered in randomly, and there was this young woman playing guitar, completely pouring her heart out. No fancy production, just raw talent. I was in tears by the 3rd song.
Oh, I remember that. She was incredible, and she was playing for tips. That's such a Nashville thing. You can walk into any bar on Broadway and stumble across world-class musicians just doing their thing. It's kind of unreal compared to New York.
Right, in New York everything feels so competitive and curated. Here it feels more authentic. Like the music is just bubbling up from the street naturally. I read that Nashville has something like 5,000 working musicians living in the city.
5,000, that's incredible. And they're not all country artists, either. I was surprised by how diverse the music scene is here. We heard rock, soul, bluegrass, and even some jazz, all within a few blocks.
That's one of the things I love about Nashville. The Music City nickname is totally earned. It really does live and breathe music. What did you think of the Country Music Hall of Fame?
Genuinely one of the best music museums I've ever visited. And I'm not even a huge country fan, or at least I thought I wasn't. After spending 3 hours in there, I have a lot more respect for the genre. The exhibits on how country music evolved from Appalachian folk traditions were eye-opening.
Yes. The folk roots exhibit was fascinating. I always thought country music was just cowboys and pickup trucks, but it's so much deeper than that. It goes back to Scots-Irish immigrants bringing their fiddles and ballads to Appalachia in the 1700s.
And then it merged with blues and gospel influences from African American communities in the South. That's how you get that emotional storytelling quality. The music was always about real life, real struggles, real joy.
Exactly. And Nashville became the center of it all because of the recording industry. Music Row, that whole neighborhood we walked through, was basically the Silicon Valley of country music starting in the 1950s. All the major labels and recording studios clustered there.
The Nashville Sound, wasn't that a deliberate style that producers developed around that time? To make country music more commercially appealing?
Yes, exactly. Producers like Chet Atkins and Owen Bradley basically smoothed out the rough edges of traditional country, added lush string arrangements, background vocals, a more polished sound, to attract mainstream pop audiences. It was controversial among purists, but it worked commercially and saved the industry at a time when rock and roll was stealing listeners.
I love that tension in music history. The purists versus the innovators. You see it in every genre. Bob Dylan go electric, hip-hop sampling old records. Music is always evolving and people always push back.
So true. And Nashville has had multiple reinventions. In the 1990s there was the new country boom. Garth Brooks, Shania Twain, huge stadium concerts. Then alt-country and Americana pushed back against that. And now you have artists like Casey Musgraves or Maren Morris blending country with pop, folk, and R&B.
The city itself kind of mirrors that. It's reinventing itself. There's this massive building boom happening. New restaurants, hotels, rooftop bars everywhere. But you can still feel the old Nashville underneath it all.
That's a really good way to put it. The bones of the old city are still there. Like the Ryman hasn't changed. The honky-tonks on Broadway haven't changed. They're just busier now. And the musicians are still playing for the love of it.
Speaking of the honky-tonks, I have to say, Tootsie's Orchid Lounge was surreal. The fact that Chris Christopherson used to slip out the back of the Ryman during intermission and go drink at Tootsie's, and that Willie Nelson reportedly got his big break there, I mean, that's a bar with a seriously legendary past.
And it's so unpretentious about it. There's no velvet rope, no cover charge, just music and cold beer and people from every walk of life. I think that's what I'll miss most about Nashville, the lack of pretension. It felt welcoming in a way that New York can sometimes forget to be.
That's a beautiful observation. Though I do love our chaotic, pretentious New York, I just appreciate getting away from it occasionally.
Obviously, there's no place like home. But Nashville has genuinely surprised me. I thought it might feel a little touristy and shallow. You know how some cities get when they become too popular, but there's real depth here. Real history, real culture, real art.
Okay, I think that's our cue. The car to the airport is coming in about 20 minutes. Are you ready?
I've been ready since we sat down. Okay, you go first this time.
All right. So, close your eyes. Okay, open them.
Jesse. Is that a vintage vinyl record? Oh my goodness, Patsy Cline. Sentimentally yours. Where did you even find this?
There's a little record shop tucked behind a barbecue joint on 8th Avenue. Easy to miss. I spent about an hour digging through crates. I knew you'd been talking about Patsy Cline ever since we saw her exhibit at the Country Music Hall of Fame. So it felt right. She's one of the voices that really define the Nashville Sound.
Jesse, I'm actually a little emotional right now. This is perfect. It's such a thoughtful pick. I'm going to treasure this. Okay, now yours. Brace yourself.
Okay, I'm bracing.
It's a handmade guitar pick. Well, actually, it's a pick-shaped piece of wood carved by that street artist we met outside the Ryman. And I had him engrave it. Nashville, the city that sings. I thought it was a fitting motto for a place that lives and breathes music the way the city does.
Yvonne, the city that sings. That is genuinely one of the most perfect things I've ever been given. I'm going to put on my desk.
So we both nailed it this time, I think.
We always do. That's the magic of the tradition. It forces you to really pay attention on a trip, you know? You're always half thinking about the other person, asking yourself, what would capture this place for them?
That's exactly it. It makes you a better traveler. Okay, should we finish these coffees and get going? I cannot miss this flight. I have an early meeting tomorrow.
Let's go. One last look out the window at the city first. Though...
I'll miss you, Nashville. But I have a feeling we'll be back.
Count on it. Next time, we're definitely catching a live show at the Ryman. Deal?
Deal. Now let's go catch our flight. Music City. It's been a pleasure.